Is there anything about timing? Because I'm sure there's also psychology about how this could affect the fight against Boko Haram. The soldiers have been there for quite a while now. Are we also looking at the timing? Some people say we could leave this until such a time when we at least have relative peace, or when we've been able to say we've done very well substantially in carrying out this war. Then we can now say, where are the offenders? Let us look at that.
Marco, let me also tell you that justice delayed is justice denied. I mean, the military must act swiftly. Any delay could further polarize the situation. A group refuses to fight and you don't do anything. What becomes of the next group? You follow what I'm saying? You must act decisively. You understand the situation? Let me tell you that sometime in, if I can remember the date now, it was either 2000, General Victor Malu was the chief of army staff. We have quite a number of soldiers that were wounded during the ECOMOG operations. Nigeria Army had no money, but he thought 68 Reference Hospital in Yaba could not cope. They arranged to carry some of the soldiers to Cairo for treatment. And before they left the shores of Nigeria, they were told that, look, the Nigerian Army has no money to carry all of you. If we are to pay you extra code and pay for your treatment, we are not likely to be able to treat more than a few of you. But in order to treat as many of you as possible, only stipends will be given to you. Nobody talked. When they got to Asabo International Airport, they sat at the airport and said they were not going to go to the hospital. Colonel Azodo, who was the leader of the delegation, had to get the Nigerian ambassador to come and talk to the soldiers. And of course, the Nigerian Army set up a court martial, and I, Lieutenant Colonel Badewole as then I was appointed the chief prosecutor. And I proved my case, called relevant witnesses, and they were convicted. Although you will say later they were granted some form of pardon, or perhaps the Court of Appeal overturned some of the judgment. But the military must be seen to be acting within the ambit of the military discipline.
All right. Let's get back to this basic security as the regular Nigerians move on the streets and what they see, because time and again when we talk about this security architecture, we also do see reports from intelligence agencies saying, look, motor parks could be soft targets, they have to put in certain measures in place. But you go to motor parks time and again, it looks as if nothing has changed. So you see one or two people search your bags and you ask yourself, is this what this security is about?
They touch it with their hands too.
And you wonder, look, what exactly do we actually understand, or have we keyed into what it means to up our security status and standard, I mean?
Well, the National Orientation Agency needs to do more work. Ministry of Information, the Federal Ministry of Information and other states' Ministry of Information, they need to do more work to talk to Nigerians. The security agencies need to do more work to talk to Nigerians and advise them on basic security issues. And I'm not a politician, but I hasten to say that a lot of markets that we have on our highways should be removed. So many markets on the highway should be removed. If you are traveling from Port Harcourt to Yenagoa, there's a particular portion that you will spend nothing less than an hour. The highway is blocked, people selling things. Why should that be? So unwittingly, we create some of the problems that we have.
So we haven't seen, does that suggest that we haven't seen states react to security with respect to changing certain things in the light of how explosions are going on in several parks and markets?
Well, perhaps you need to carry out some form of investigative journalism and go around. I am not...
no, but from what you've seen.
Yeah, but for what I've seen, there is still a lot more to be done. You understand? I've just given you a scenario that a lot of our roads turn to markets. Why should we go along, just a minute, drive along Broad Street now from, what do you call it now, Western House to Akpangbo. Will take you about 2 hours. Because the old roads have been taken over by people that are selling. So where are the last mile people? Where are the people who are controlling the environmental task force? Why would you block such a major road? You understand? It happens everywhere.
The thing is, during the festive period, it even becomes worse. And because when you go to livestock markets, they begin to expand and even take over major express roads. But would you say that this is our own culture of indiscipline and we're still not getting safety conscious, or we're not even getting security conscious? Because if you go to, say, churches, mosques during festive periods, you see that there seems to be an increased presence of security operatives, an increased awareness of security. Cars are asked to park some distance away from this premises. People are frisked as they're coming into the premises, and we see all of that going on. But in our day-to-day lives, would you say that we're a lot more security conscious in terms of how we carry out normal activities?
Let us not even look at security. Let's look at our law enforcement machinery. Is it working? Law enforcement. Is it working?
As what? As a first line?
Yes. The law enforcement. Is it working? Go to Cotonou here. Once the traffic man blows his whistle, who are you to cross the line? It's not working. Our law enforcement needs to be very, very active. Needs to be stringent. Do you understand? We need to do more to ensure that the police are doing their utmost best.
What should we be doing?
I have just told you that the law enforcement agencies need to wake up to their responsibilities. They need to wake up to their responsibilities. Go to motor parks. They are more interested in collecting money from the motorists rather than do the job that they were employed to do.
If you
ask, that is the truth.
If you ask them, they will tell you they are doing their best. But if you could suggest,
yes,
what are the things you would tell them to do to be seen to have broken
I have
up?
just told you that all those markets on the major highways should be removed to designated area for market. Do you understand? Only designated bus stops should be used. Vehicles will stop on the highway carrying passengers. Vehicles will stop on the highway getting passengers off the bus. Those are serious minor offenses that tend to multiply to become major offenses. You follow what I'm saying? And of course, I do know for the Nigerian Army and the security agencies that this time around, as has always been, December period, there's usually embargo on leave and passes. Preventative deployments are made. The security agencies are more at alert, monitoring what is happening all over the country. But when you go down, there are so many other paramilitary agencies that should key into that arrangement. That was why I was talking about comprehensive strategy. It's not something you leave for just a subsector. I give you a scenario. Look at what happened when we had the Ebola crisis. Everybody keyed into it. But going by what Chamberlain said, the moment we got some relief, nobody is taking temperature now. Nobody is using hand sanitizers. You understand? We need to make certain things part of our culture.
Although they check me at the airport.
Yeah, that's the best at the airport. When I got to channels, nobody checked me. Nobody took my temperature. Nobody gave me.
You didn't use your sanitizer out there.
Nobody gave me a sanitizer. No, I'm just, I'm just. You understand what I'm saying? We tend to relax once things appear to be good.
No, but that one is permanent. It's self-use. So
it's okay.
Just put your hand.
I mean,
down.
I'm just drawing a parallel.
So you're the one that's offended by not using it.
Well, I didn't say it. If I said it, I would have used it. I'm just giving an example of how.
I was asking about the security operatives when you said they should awake to their responsibilities. And I said, what would you tell them to do, besides the fact that they don't have passes, they're not allowed to go anywhere, preventative deployment, for the front, first line security operatives, the police, if you were to advise them, what would you tell them to do differently?
You see, I'm not talking about the armed forces. For instance, I've told you about Lagos. I'm talking to you about LASMA and the local police that are working. You understand? Even the civil police. You understand? You need to...
Well, that's what I'm saying. What would you tell them to do in order to be seen to be awake to their responsibilities? Because they'll tell you they're awake to their responsibilities.
Well, my answer to that question is that let me tie it up to the question you asked earlier on about trials and what have you. In this country, a lot of people do so many things, they believe they can get away with it. And indeed, they've gotten away with it. So if our law enforcement machinery is working effectively, a lot of things that tend to be dragging us down will not be there. We would have been seen to be overcoming them. You understand? So get the law enforcement critically right first. You commit an offense, you go for it.
Let's talk about training before we wrap up.
Yes.
Training for junior officers
Yes.
Across board, because it looks as though the senior officers get their training, most of them well behaved, but the lower ranking ones, the ones we see on a regular basis out there on the streets, the ones that give us the impression of the kind of training or how armed forces conduct themselves, it looks as if it's not exactly what it should be. Do they get the regular training or requisite training that they require?
If the truth must be told, we need to look at our recruitment policy. Recruitment and retention. In other words, in the past, what did we do to our recruitment? Was the recruitment properly done? Do you understand? If we, right now, I know that in the days of old, nobody cares about whether you have credit in English or how many credits you have. Once you are interested, either you are this person's list or on that person's list, you are recruited. But now, the Nigerian Army has put in place stringent measures that if you have no credit in English and perhaps two or three other subjects, you will not come in. But I also agree with you that we need to step up the training we give to our soldiers. We need to step it up. Really, we need to step it up. And quite honestly, things like battery inoculation, even at the junior level, they should go through it and feel the impact of war, so that when the real thing comes, they won't be scared, they won't run away.
All right, that's where we'll let it go. Thank you very much indeed for coming on. Retired Major General Muyiwa Badewole is also a legal practitioner. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you for having me.
We've got another matter coming up today on the program, so don't go away yet.